to the Lovely Shop, where we bring positive energy to every project. In today's video, we will be making a book holder. So I got the inspiration from YouTube videos, along with seeing some pretty cool Etsy listings. So this one is going to be the inspiration for today's video. It's going to be very simple, something that you can make. I will walk you through the process. Okay, so let's get right into it. Okay, so for this project, you'll only need 3 pieces. You'll need 2 8-inch by 7-inch pieces, and that will be for the top, the sides. And you'll need 1 12-inch by 4-inch piece. I'm gonna get them all cut out on my tables. Let's go. Always remember to wear your PPE, guys. All right, let's get to cutting this board down to size. This is gonna be my 8 by 7-inch pieces. Let's do it. All right, team, we cut the pieces. The base, we can put that aside. That's good for right now. What we will have to do is cut the sides at their angles. And we're gonna be using a 22.5-degree angle on our table saw to make the next cuts. We're gonna be cutting both ends of the sides, and they will look like this in the end, okay? You'll be cutting out the 7-inch part. The width is still gonna be 8 inches. Let's go over to the table saw and get to cutting. I'll show you guys how I made this happen. Okay guys, so this jig, I made it so it's able to hold the board in place. If it doesn't have any support, it's gonna drop. So we gotta clamp this piece to the board, to this board, to prevent it from sliding in to the blade. How we're gonna make this cut is by butting up the edge to the blade itself. So when it gets cut, you're gonna have a straight angle, like so. Okay, so I'll make the cut and you'll see how I do it. And then we will proceed, once we've finished both cuts on both sides, we'll proceed to the end, the other side of it. It's gonna be the same angle, 22.5-degree. And if you would like for me to make a video showing you how to create this jig, I do believe there should be some videos online as well, but nonetheless, if you want me to make a video of it, let me know and I'll have it created for you guys. All right, let's get this angle cut. You want to get it right on the corner. Perfect. And get it clamped to the board so it stays in place. You can get these clamps at Home Depot or Lowe's. It's affordable. It's right up on the corner of the blade. So when it gets cut, it's gonna cut this way. Okay, let's do it. It's cut. You see where the blade is, and you see why we need to clamp it, because there's no support for when the base is gone, so it can just fall in if you don't have it clamped up with support. So the backboard is not touching the blade, it's right next to the blade, probably with this much space, but it gives enough room for the blade to pass through and only hit the board that we need to cut. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut the other one, and then we'll move on to the other end. For the other end, what you'll have to do is place it like this on the saw and have the blade line up to cut and leave the angle like this, like so. To have the angle cut out like this. So this will be the cutout section, okay? So the blade has to line up with this edge right here. So I'll show you how it's gonna be. Like this, where you can see the blade is lining up right at this edge. So we'll leave the pointy section right here and cut out everything below. All right, let's do it. It's gonna be the same angle, just letting you know again. You don't necessarily need a jig to get this done, you just need a straight edge so you can run it to the blade. My board probably was not level or straight on this end, so one portion got cut out perfectly and while the other did not. And then it got thinner while we got to the end. So it leaves a gap when you stand it up right here like this. So just make sure that your ends are straight when you're making your cuts. Okay, so of course it will show itself when in the final product. That's just a tip. Make sure your ends are straight. All right, on to the next one. Same thing happens here. Okay, you get the gist. Here we go. That's the angle, and it will sit on the base. All right, let's do it. Let's put it all together now. Okay, team. So time to put it all together. But disclaimer: earlier I said in the video, which I have corrected in the beginning, that this is a 4-inch piece, 4-inch by 12-inch. That is not correct. It's actually 5 3/4 by 12-inch. Okay, let's put it together. And I do not have any fancy gadgets to have this be held in place while we apply glue to the inside pieces and the base. So what I'm going to do is find a way to have it be secured, putting in screws to hold it to the base while the glue dries. Okay, so let's do just that. So the method that I just mentioned in terms of drilling the screws in at the base to hold up the sides is proven to be not effective. So on to another method. I'm gonna figure it out and I'll get right back to you guys. Okay, it didn't take long. We can go back to the trusty tape. Tape does the trick. It holds it perfectly together. What I'm gonna do is apply the glue. Let's proceed to get the glue on there. I'm gonna use a foam brush. This is the tape. This is the glue I'm using. You can find it at your local Lowe's or Home Depot or Amazon. Let's get to the base as well. Okay, get it closed. So make sure it's good, it matches up. Gently. And just make sure it's lined up at the base as well. It's not gonna be perfect, but we will fix it after the glue is all dried. Okay, let's see how this turned out. I put some clamps and some wood on the side just to keep this in the middle, or keep it in place on the base. So next step, of course, is to sand everything down, and the top is sharp, so I'm going to get some sandpaper and just smoothen out the top. I have 120 grit sandpaper. I'm just gonna run it on the top. And also, what I would suggest, of course, is to sand everything down throughout each step. Sand everything down. I did not do it throughout the course of the video, just for the sake of time and getting to the result. But in terms of a finished piece, of course, sand everything before it's all glued up. I would recommend 120 grit should do the trick, and sand the sides as well. Just doing this makes a big difference as it is. If you have a machine, a circular sander, that would be perfect. So I will be sanding this down, and then I will probably put some finish, some type of I will put a stain on it just for the look, or maybe a paint. Alright team, if you guys made it this far, thank you very much for continuing to watch. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is the final product. You can decide to paint or stain it. Of course, after you sand it down, I would advise to put some bumpers at the bottom so it does not scratch your table. Or if you do decide to make it to sell, that it doesn't scratch the customer's table. And what do you guys think? Leave the comments down below. If you have any questions on any step of this process, leave your question below and I'll get right back to you. Thank you guys for following along till the end. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And if you guys want to see any other projects specifically, leave it in the comments below and I'll make a video for you guys. Until next time, stay lovely.